tuning in for my page 9 of my virtual diary. I'm so excited to do it today. Today is a little bit special, but before I go into that, be sure you subscribe. Be sure you hit the notification, because really what I've been talking about is my desire to grow my family. Me and Gregory really desire to have a baby, and our desire is not to have to go through the infertility process again, but we went through it already one time and we're on our way to go through it again. So I decided to virtually put in like diary entries and just record my process here. So then one day maybe our child wants to look at the videos and be like, oh, y'all went through so much, or y'all had hope, or y'all really waited for me. We prayed for you. We waited for you. Yes, we love you already, and we sitting here waiting on you. But that's just like for future, just in case our child sees this at a later time. So something special about today is it is National Infertility Awareness Week. Let me tell you, and I won't get emotional. I might lie, but I did not know anything about National Infertility Awareness Week. I think it is so cool that there is a week that is dedicated to this struggle, to this journey, to this, however you describe an unexpected event that that I had to go through. I didn't see this. I definitely didn't want it, but I'm at the point where I'm embracing it. Like, okay, Christine, this is your life. You are 1 in 8 women that, or 1 in 8 couples that struggle to get pregnant. And we've been struggling for quite some time. So we went through the infertility treatments at one point. We were taking medicine and shots, and I suffered this in silence. So like I was saying, every month I had to keep up with my days, and I had to go to the doctor, and they had me in uncomfortable positions and looking at follicles to see if they were of great measure. And then after that, I would come in and get a shot, and they would give us days to remember and instructions on what to do, when to do. And I went through that quietly. I didn't tell a lot of people, but when I did tell people, they're like, this is my last entry that I talked about it. People were like, oh, you shouldn't be worried about a baby now. Get to know Gregory, get to know him. Y'all should be living your life, enjoying your life, and blah, blah, blah. That was my last entry, so like flip back a page to see my feelings on that. But this wasn't my desire to go through treatments and things, and it's not my desire to do artificial inseminations, IVFs. No, it's not my desire. So my desire is that we would conceive before we even walk through this process. But then you could say, wait on God. I don't know. Or I can really figure out what's really happening. So this week is dedicated to National Infertility Awareness Week. And let me tell you, I already told you, I did not know anything about it. Let me tell you how I found out about it. I pulled in my house one day, and like, number one, it was a rough day anyway. Like, stuff I didn't even know about was happening, and my mind was going everywhere. So I pulled in, backed in my little parking spot, and I just sat there. And a lot of you guys can relate to pulling in your house and just sitting there for a moment and just gathering your thoughts and trying to get yourself together. Maybe crush a little candy or two, and try to get your life together before I even go in. Like, and honestly, Gregory wasn't even here, but it's just a moment of quiet in my car where I can get my thoughts together. So while I was doing that, I don't even know what I was doing. I was probably checking messages and emails and which is not very soothing, but that's all I was doing. And then I checked my Facebook message and it popped up. Now I'm trying not to be emotional, but forgive me if I am. But my friend Angelique, she sent me a message, and it said National Infertility Awareness Week. Like, I forgot everything it said, but basically the awareness of it, just to have a friend that is aware of the situation, that supports, that hears my heart in the situation, sees the tears, understands the desire. Like, I secretly put her in the last page. I didn't know if I was allowed to say her name or not, but she's in page number, what is that, page 8. I talked about her, but I didn't say her name, but she said I could say her name. So just the feeling that you hear my heart is enough. And I think I put it on one of the pages where, oh my God, I gotta keep it together. A lot of people would give advice, or don't know how to listen, or don't know how to be there for somebody like me. And number one, I do have a lot of personality. Like, I got a lot. I'm bold in a lot of places. My personality is just, whew, it goes everywhere sometimes. And I'm a little crazy. But this part of me is that insecure part of me. And sometimes I'm not strong. Sometimes I'm not. But just to have a friend that says, hey girl, I see you. Look, it is National Infertility Awareness Week, and I'm aware of your heart. Thank you. I just wanted to say I love you. And I'm not going to talk about it anymore because I need to keep my makeup together. So, oh God. So, but this week or today, I wanted to talk about it because I didn't know anything about it. So I started looking up some information about infertility awareness and why they did it or where it come from. So I want to share those facts with you. Number one, it said wear orange. So I got orange on, but then I was like, well, why orange? What's orange got to do with anything? So I looked it up, and it was really cute. It said that a red heart meant love, and a yellow heart meant hope. And you put those two hearts together, makes orange. Red, yellow make orange. And then that's where they chose infertility. And I love it. I love it so much. And on this journey, it is so hard to keep up that hope because you have, number one, you're emotional anyway. Because your desire is so great to be able to give your husband a child. So your hope goes up, like, okay, let's and then it goes back down. And then it fluctuates. And every now and then, I have to pray that spirit of Sarah off of me and get that spirit of Hannah back on me. If you don't know the difference between those stories, they're two different women. But Hannah kept praying, and Sarah had a little doubt in there every now and then, and laughing at, can I really conceive at this age? So every now and then I do have to pray off that spirit of Sarah and say, I need to keep praying. I need to keep giving this to God, because one day I will give my husband a baby. And I give myself a baby too. It's not all about you, Gregory. It's me too. And the grandparents, and just, I was the one that always wanted a whole lot of babies. But an unexpected event happened. I don't know. And God had other plans. So here I am embracing it. Here I am speaking out about it. Here I am not suffering in silence. And if you are suffering in silence, let me be your spokesperson. Let me talk about it. Let me inspire you. Let me give you hope. Follow me, okay? So you do have to subscribe and hit the bell. Hello, that was a good little place to put that in. But I'm here to speak out. I'm not going to be quiet anymore. Like, it's not like I'm going to dinner and, like, talking about my egg qualities and talking about my egg quantities to somebody while we eat nachos and sipping tea and stuff. But I really want some Mexican. Quarantine is driving me crazy. But yeah, it's not like something that you normally talk about. That's why you should subscribe and hit the bell so you can have your dose of Christine's process. So you're knowledgeable and you know instead of awkwardly asking those wrong questions. But thank you, Angelique. You're so awesome. Okay, I'm getting emotional again. I can't go there. All right, so the definition of infertility first. The definition of infertility that everybody really thinks of, and I got my notes so I don't babble, that everybody thinks is the inability to have a baby. So when somebody says infertility, they're automatically thinking they can't have a baby. But there's another definition that describes, medical websites uses a different definition, and doctors use a different definition. And the definition says not getting pregnant despite having carefully timed unprotected sex for 1 year. And they call it a disease. I don't know if I want to call it a disease yet, but that definition right there sounds a little bit hopeful, more hopeful than the inability to have a baby. And then I also found out that infertility has like sub names for, because I've never been pregnant, and then so there's a sub infertility name that explains a woman that can't carry the whole term, like keep having multiple miscarriages. So there's another form of infertility that way, and then another form of infertility like not being able to have children at all, and then another form of infertility where you would have to go through the treatments in order to get pregnant. So because of information that I'm going to give you soon. So there's forms of infertility, but a lot of people, when they hear the word infertility, they automatically think you can't have a child, period. So that's why I definitely appreciate National Infertility Awareness Week. So cool. So I already told you with the oranges, the hearts, and the put them together, all that good stuff is really nice. And then the hashtag is hashtag NIAW and hashtag HaveAHeart. So if you want to share this with someone, you can hashtag those. Of course, I'm going to hashtag it on my post. But definitely share Awareness Week with somebody you know that is trying to conceive and is struggling to have a baby. It happens 1 in 8 people in the United States. And I think that it's different in other countries too. But 1 in 8 people in the United States struggle, or 1 in 8 couples struggle to have a baby. And I looked that number up, and it's 7.4 million people struggle to have a baby. So you are not alone. It is not just you. It is not just me. It happens. And apparently it's my journey. So, and I had to do something else with it than to cry all the time about it. So here I am doing virtual diaries. So the Awareness Week, to change conversations, to let you guys know that people do struggle with this. Their desire and their heart is definitely heavy, and we support everybody getting pregnant, but there's also 1 person out of 8 women that might shed a tear every now and then because that desire to have a baby is so great. So don't forget about them. Awareness Week. Don't ignore it. You don't have to ignore it, because I've ignored it a lot in the beginning. Like, nah, this is not me. I'm not going through this. This is not me. Okay, Christine, it is you. Okay? You've been bumping and grinding this long, and you're 1 in 8. Okay, so to cite these websites that I got some more information from, one of them is AVAWomen, AVAWOMEN.com. They have a list of facts, and then PacificFertilityCenter.com has a Huffington Post that has facts as well. Okay, so I'm going to give you some information that I found was interesting, but they got some more there. So, all right, number 1, fertility is mostly determined by genetics, which influences how many eggs you are born with. Genetics influences how many eggs you are born with. Then it determines the length of time that you are fertile. So I don't know how many eggs I was born with. I didn't count. But the length of time, the quality decreases and the quantity decreases. Depends on how many you were born with. And somewhere down the line, I kind of knew that you were born with as many eggs as you will ever have in your lifespan. Somewhere in there. It's very interesting. I might do some more research about that one. But so you're born with all the eggs that you ever get, but genetics influences it. So, and Mom and Dad, if you're watching this, I feel like this is the perfect time to tell you that I'm going to ask you to do an interview. Answer some questions just like I did Gregory. But, I mean, it's going to be y'all two sitting, and I don't know. I want to interview you guys. It's coming. I'm still working on it, guys. Just pray for me that I get both of my parents to sit down and answer questions. And don't be weird. I get my weirdness from them. Don't tell them I said that. Number 2. Most people with blocked fallopian tubes are completely unaware that their pelvic had prior scarring. And that was one of the exams that we were going to take this upcoming exam that's coming up, finding like a look inside of everything to see if everything was okay. And that was one of the exams that I had to do, but COVID-19 had to, the restrictions stopped me from doing that. But I have to call in on a specific day and see if they're doing the exam. So as soon as I call in, and they'll tell me again if I have to wait for the next cycle to happen where I can call in again to see. But hopefully, like, quarantine, we're relaxed, we're chilling, I don't know, and we conceive before I even have to do all these procedures. So I'm hoping and praying for that. But if not, I'm gonna walk in this journey and let you guys know and keep you guys updated. And be sure you hit the bell, press pause, hit that bell so you can get these notifications. So I don't know if I have blocked tubes, my fallopian tubes. Those will be the next exams. Number 3, in most cases, not all cases, most cases, stress does not cause infertility. If you are ovulating, you're still most likely fertile. So like, I'm always stressed out, really. So maybe that could be me. Because it's at most cases. So there are some cases that stress is overwhelming. Like being a teacher and having like 8 side hustles and like constantly busy. Like 2021, all this stuff got to go. I cannot have 8 side hustles. So after, like I can see that some people say you have to relax. So I don't know. But this fact says most cases stress does not cause infertility. So some people that say, go out of town, relax, go on vacation, get away. Most people get pregnant when they get away and they're not worried about anything. Like I had that before, and I just stood there looking dumb like, next. It was weird. Number 4, by age 44, most women, not all, most women are infertile. Even if they are still ovulating regularly by age 44, most, not all. So if you are 44 and you're still working on a baby, girl, keep going for it. Get some treatments, whatever you have to do. Keep on. Whatever you and your husband is doing, go ahead. Because it said most cases, not all. But I thought that was interesting. So number 5, for the most part, diet has little or nothing to do with fertility. So what you eat, what you don't eat has nothing to do with fertility. I don't know. It's on there. Sometimes I don't believe it because people say that some foods would provide help for fertility. I don't know, but it's on the page. Next one, vitamin D may improve results of infertility treatments. So when I read that, I finally found out, oh, that's why they're giving me a high dosage of vitamin D night. Like, honestly, the other day I was on the phone with my mom and I was texting her. I was like, I think that vitamin D is messing up my stomach. It is just too much for me. But they give me high dosages once a week for 8 weeks. Once a week, vitamin D pills. And hopefully, like, we conceive without having to go through the treatments, because it says it helps with infertility treatments. And I didn't know that. We didn't discuss that part, but that was one of the so I'm almost done. Like, I just got cut off. My phone just cut me off being rude and stuff. So I talked about vitamin D. So I think I got like 3 more and I'm almost done. So stick with me. Being overweight or underweight is clearly linked with lower levels of fertility. So body mass index is important. The specialist did ask me about my weight, and I told him I was 250, but come to find out I was 240. So hey. And then I started Weight Watchers, but I didn't do Weight Watchers completely about fertility. But what it is number one, we are quarantined, and you got to snack well when you are quarantined. And I was not snacking well. I was snacking on it was just too much. And if you can tell, I'm a heavy person already, and I don't need to be adding extra weight to me after this quarantine lifts. I want to come out looking fine, not 20 pounds more. So Weight Watchers is going well. And also I received my matron of honor dress. Hello. Congratulations, guys. I don't know if I'm allowed to say your names, but congratulations to my friends and my bro, but my matron of honor dress is not fit. It does not zip up, so I'm gonna have to lose a little bit of inches and come down a little bit of size to get back in that matron of honor dress and zip that up. Maybe I ordered it wrong. I don't know, but I'm almost there. I almost got it zipped. I didn't try it on, but it could almost zip. We're gonna get it together. And last one, my specialist told me that I needed to be in a cap weight size. Like, I have a weight requirement if we go into the other treatments. So he said, I would rather you lose weight now than to have to go through the first treatments and it didn't work, and then go to the second treatments and find out that you had to lose weight. So lose weight now. And so that's the 3 things that I'm doing there. So 2 more things. Number 1, a woman is only fertile 6 days out of the month. I don't know how much I believe it, but somewhere in there science says 6 days out the month. But to me, everybody that's popping out like 12 kids, I feel like they're fertile the whole month. I'm a little jealous. I'm a little salty. Anyway, this says it's only 6 days. So y'all must have been getting in the 6 days. Anyway, number 2. This is the last one. I said it for last. Sexual positions don't affect your chances of conception. But I've heard a lot of people say like gravity, and you're supposed to help sperm swim, tilt, turn it upside down. Just I've heard a lot of it. I've heard a lot of just hang upside down from the ceiling, help gravity, help that out. But these sites said that positions don't, I don't know. Maybe sexual positions, like it doesn't matter as long as it happens. Okay, this is not sex ed. And anyway, but those are my facts about fertility / infertility. So thank you for joining my page. What is that? Page 9? Page 9 of my virtual diary. Please be sure to keep up with me. Hit subscribe, please. I think I'm at like 40, and that is like overwhelming. 40, and then hit the bell so you get notification. Like, I'm trying to get my parents to interview too. Let's get that together soon. All right, so I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for joining in. Please share this with somebody, or send information to somebody that you know that is trying to have a baby or struggling. Say that you are aware of them, and tell them it is National Infertility Awareness Week. Support them in that way. And it was so beautiful. Again, thank you, Angelique. So I'll talk to you guys again for page 10. It has to. Thank you.